Before undertaking any work demonstrated in our videos, please check out the disclaimer on our website. Where possible, we've also included a link to the disclaimer in the video description.
Here we're doing a travel reduction on a set of Pikes. Unlike the older forks, it's not a spacer you put on the air shaft anymore, it's actually a whole new air shaft to reduce the travel. This fork's at 160 and the customer wants it set at 130, so here's the new air shaft we're going to be fitting. Tools for this job are Allen keys for your foot nuts and adjusters, and side cutters, all for removing the lowers. A soft mallet might be handy too. A set of circlip pliers, slick grease, air mix, lower lube, a high pressure shock pump, and finally a bit of lint-free cloth wouldn't go amiss for keeping things clean. To save this video being extra long, we're going to start with the lowers off. If you need a reminder of how to get to this stage, check out our lower leg service video and follow the first few steps. So, once your lowers are off, double check you've let all the air out of the forks, as you don't want to remove the bottom and have it shooting across your garage or living room. To take the air shaft out, you're going to need your circlip pliers. Be very careful not to scunt the shaft with the pliers. One thing to bear in mind when you're doing this is that this is way too much grease. If you have too much grease, the pass support inside the fork gets blocked and the negative air won't charge. Remove this bit off the air shaft and remember which way around it goes, it's going on the new shorter one. Clean out the air side to make sure there isn't too much grease. You need some in there but not the amount we just saw. And check inside and make sure that the passport isn't full up with grease as well. Now just clean all the lowers. Small amount of slick grease around the quad ring of your new air piston. Again, you don't want too much on there. Slide this back on, all cleaned up. Just a blim of air mix in the leg now. Insert the air piston and press the lower part here back in. Insert the circlip and make sure it's really in there. On all circlips you have a sharp and a rounded end. You need to make sure the sharp end is facing out or you risk the circlip popping out. Now slide your lowers back on, greasing seals etc. if necessary. Make sure you haven't rolled the lip of the seal over or torn it putting it back on. And again, if you're struggling with this bit, check the lower leg service video. If you've let lube out the bottom of the fork whilst you're doing this, you've got to remember not to put any more than 5 cc's in the damper side or it can get in the charger damper and actually damage it. Relocate the bottoms of the forks and reinsert washers and foot nuts. Tighten them up well, but don't overdo it or you risk breaking cartridges or otherwise damaging the fork. Finally, reinsert air to the desired pressure, check your fork for functionality, and you should be done.